All right, let's get right into it. We're going to unpack a really powerful story today, all about internal transformation. And that question, man, it just cuts right to the heart of what we're talking about. We're going to break down the story of a woman named Eleanor Hayes and really look at that journey, going from feeling totally worthless to taking back every ounce of your power in the most incredible way. So, first things first, to really get what happens later, we have to understand who Eleanor was before it all went down. You've got to see just how much she gave, how deep her sacrifice went to appreciate the shift. So, meet Eleanor Hayes. She's 71, a widow who raised her son Daniel all on her own. And get this, she's not just a mom, she's a total powerhouse who built a massive business empire from the ground up. But here's the thing, her motivation, it was never for her. It was always for him. Her whole world, her very sense of self, was just completely tied up in his success. This family trip they're on, it was supposed to be the big payoff, the moment where all that sacrifice finally brings them closer. But right from the start, that connection just isn't there. Picture this, she's in the back of the car, on the way to this fancy resort, and that old familiar feeling starts creeping in. Her son and his wife, Chloe, are just chatting away, and Eleanor, she might as well be invisible. She feels like a ghost, just a passenger in the life she built, not really a part of it at all. And that feeling of being on the outside, well, it doesn't just stay a quiet feeling. It's about to explode into this single moment of just devastating public humiliation. And this right here, this is the moment that changes absolutely everything. Okay, so they're at the check-in desk at the hotel. There's some little mix-up with a reservation. Eleanor, trying to be helpful, she steps up to try and sort it out, but her daughter-in-law Chloe just cuts her off. With this sharp, condescending tone, she says to the receptionist, "She's just here to help us." The words just hang there, designed to do one thing, put Eleanor in her place, like she's nothing more than the help. And the effect? It's immediate. The entire lobby just stops. That private feeling of being ignored, it's suddenly a full-blown public spectacle of disrespect, and everyone is staring. All eyes are on Eleanor, and you can just imagine that feeling of shame being magnified 1,000 times. So in this moment of just gut-wrenching hurt, she looks to her son, Daniel, the person she gave everything for. She's expecting him to step in, to defend her, but he doesn't. He laughs. It's not even a big laugh, it's just a small, casual chuckle that says everything. It sides with Chloe, with the humiliation, and it completely erases her pain. That laugh, that's the thing. Later that night, alone in her room, that's where the real story begins. That single moment becomes the catalyst for this huge internal shift. The moment she goes from pure pain to incredible power. And this is such a great way to see what's happening inside her head. It's not just a collapse, it's a shift. All that pain, it doesn't just sit there and rot. It sharpens into crystal clarity. That awful humiliation, it forces a realization she can no longer ignore. And that feeling of being invisible, it gets reforged into this solid, quiet strength. And that's the key takeaway here. The pain didn't break her. It changed her. His laugh wasn't the thing that shattered her spirit. No, it was the fire that forged it into something unbreakable. It hardened her resolve in a way that, frankly, nothing else ever could have. So with this new strength, what does she do? She doesn't scream, she doesn't cry. It's not about anger, it's about action. The very next day, after being treated like she was just in the way, Eleanor goes for a walk, all by herself, through the resort. And this is the twist. As she's walking, the staff, they see her. And they don't just see another guest, they recognize her. The way they greet her, the respect, the deference, it makes one thing perfectly clear. She isn't just staying here, she owns here. This whole place, it's hers. So now, with her authority quietly but firmly back in her hands, she starts making moves. There's no big dramatic scene, it's all behind the scenes. A few private meetings here, a quiet word with key staff there, and then a dinner is arranged. You can just feel it, right? The stage is being set for something big. And all of this leads right to the climax, a very carefully planned dinner where the truth is about to be the main course. So they're in a private dining room. Daniel and Chloe are sitting there, probably wondering what's going on. Then a folder with legal documents is placed on the table. The silence in that room must have been deafening. As they start to read, you can just imagine the confusion turning into dawning horror as the real weight of their actions finally hits them. And Eleanor? She doesn't raise her voice. She speaks in this calm, controlled way that's more powerful than any shouting could ever be. It's just pure, unshakable authority. That quiet strength is on full display as she looks him in the eye and lays it out. And these aren't just words. These aren't empty threats. They have immediate, life-altering consequences. For Daniel, his inheritance is gone. For Chloe, she is banned from every single one of Eleanor's properties. And you see their shock just morph into pure fear, and then, way too late, regret. And with that final statement, she just closes the book on that chapter of her life. She's not the victim anymore, not even close. She is the architect of her own justice. She has taken back every last bit of her power. I mean, talk about a complete 180. From that humiliated woman in the hotel lobby to the matriarch who is now in total control. The woman they treated like she was nothing, turns out she was the one holding everything. So, what do we take away from Eleanor's story? It's this incredibly powerful reminder about where your worth actually comes from. It's not from other people's approval, especially not from people who can't or won't see you. It's something you have to own for yourself. Your worth does not depend on who fails to see it. Just remember that.